Okay, so this full moon could be really important for those of you that have any personal planets between 0 and 10 degrees of this 5-degree full moon, 0 to 10 degrees of Virgo. And you might want to apply the same rule to Pisces as well, because the full moon will be reflecting her light on all of your, well, any Pisces planets that you have, between 0 and 10 degrees. Now, the tighter the orb, the more influence, okay? So if you have something at 5, it's going to be right on. Now, that's also true for the hot points. So the ascendant, the descendant, ascendant, IC, descendant, and midheaven. Especially at the IC, we're at the, if you have Virgo down here, this is a very karmic past life point where some, information could come through for you to help you heal or help you move forward, help you stay on your path. Same thing with the ascendant. You could be attracting the illumination of the moon that would give you even more insight. Over here at the descendant, it could help you with relationships, and those would especially be, coworkers and work relationships, service-oriented relationships, and healthcare provider relationships as well, okay? Because that's what Virgo is all about. Now, up here at the midheaven, it would be your career or how you participate with society is basically the way I read that point up there. I use Dane Rudyard's methods for the 4 hot points, except for the ascendant. I got a meditation back in, I think, 2003 or so, 2 or 3, that the ascendant magnetizes. And I'm like, wait, what? I actually woke up hearing it. And then I started thinking, oh, that's right. If the ascendant is your body, your who you think you are deep inside of you, really, because it's the culmination of everything in the 12th house that you've worked through, and then what's on the horizon when you wake up when you're born. When you're born, wake up to this, dualistic Earth school we're living in. What's happening with that is that everything that's in your soul substance is magnetized into you, so that as you grow and as you develop, you will always attract whatever you need to help you heal and help you grow, which is wonderful. Now that's just the ascendant when you're born, but you could always look at your progressed ascendant too every year, of course, because that moves 1 degree a year. So, okay, let's settle into this point here. With the Virgo full moon, I'm going to just focus on some Virgo action first, okay? So the full moon, this one, is grounded because it's in Virgo. Can be a little hypersensitive. We have to be careful, and that would be true with the polarity between Pisces and Virgo as well. Virgo wants to be of service. It wants to be useful. So this full moon can bring in quite a bit of information to help us discern the right direction to go to create more efficiency, maybe. More health, more good self-care, more order in our lives. I look at Virgo as being divine order at the highest levels. If you're having chaotic times and you're feeling like you can't pull yourself out and there's so much anxiety, the deal with the Virgo moon here in the trine to Jupiter and the trine to Ceres, we have a grand Earth trine here, and the moon is at 1 point. It's also part of a kite, okay? So this full moon is definitely the rudder to help us become more grounded in our bodies, to help us heal no matter what we're going through. And And then also to nurture ourselves in very, very physical ways with Ceres up here in Capricorn. These are all grounded. And we have the fixed, the mutable, and the cardinal, of course. So we have the static energy that wants to stay and hold on to security with Jupiter and Taurus, but grow more security, more stability, especially in the body. And then with the Virgo full moon, there's a light still shining. And as the moon moves forward, even after it's full, I mean, it's legally full. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have said that right at the opening gate here. February 24th, Saturday, 4:31 a.m. Pacific. So adjust to your time zone. But as the moon moves forward, this will turn into an exact trine at this end, but it's already exact right here up to Ceres. So this full moon is very much nurtured by all ways of being practical and useful and taking self-responsibility to control what goes in and out of your life, in and out of your mouth, in and out of your consciousness. It's good for working hard, but there is a real need for self-care here with this full moon, because you can work too much and then cause a health problem in your body. But if you can work the energy, if it's working right for you, if you're in a place where things are good and you're not rushing around and you're not trying to be perfect, okay? We want to let go of perfectionism when we're in the Virgo realm. We want to let go of feeling like we're just not valued, and that's especially true with the trine over to Virgo, and that will be especially prominent as the moon moves forward. And it comes into an exact 10-degree trine, because trines are fast-moving, flowing energy. Okay, that's the important thing to always remember. There are connections going on here. I like to say that they're supposed to be always good, but they're not always. Sometimes it's just a major connection, and you don't see how later on the flow was so fast that maybe you couldn't handle the energy. But I like that this is grounded here, because all of this energy up here, all of the Pluto, Mars, and Venus in Aquarius, that is not grounded energy. It can be aloof. It's disseminating type of energy up here, but it just can go so quick. Like those words can just fly out of someone's mouth, or those actions can just come through them. And they, even though Mars and Venus is moving away from Pluto, we still have this stellium, in Aquarius. So we're dealing with focusing on the future, and we might be so focused on the future that we're missing some details. So this full moon can help us really slow down and absorb whatever is needed. Virgo is very absorbing. So more keywords for, first I'll focus on Virgo, and then I'll go to Pisces. With Virgo, like I said, it's discernment, it's discrimination. We're learning things usually. And with the full moon being in the first decan of the sign, we are developing something. We are bringing things into form. If you've already been, bringing a lot of projects together, then this might be a new layer to help, to support it. It's particularly good for creating opportunities when you're working the energy right with Virgo. And if there's challenges, though, it can be that your life is too cluttered. You need to have you need to create some order in your life and have, like everything has its own place. Like create a system of order that works for you. So when you want something where it is, and then you get in that habit of always putting it back there instead of just dropping it wherever you are, and then 10 minutes later it's like, dang, where did I leave my phone, or where did I whatever, If you can just pick a certain spot, like in each room, things like that. Start thinking in those ways to create more divine order, and then your life will flow a whole lot better. Another challenging aspect of Virgo can be like self-depreciating, where we're just always judging ourselves and we're too critical and too judgmental. And we might be that way with other people too, or especially with the polarity of Pisces. See, this is what's always great. Every full moon is always so helpful to help us balance out the polarity. And the Piscean polarity has to do with seeing the big picture, this huge realm of all possibility on the Pisces end. It's known for being very, very adaptable, and so is Virgo. So we've got a lot of adaptability, and these are both mutable signs. So again, mutable is adaptable. So we have a triple dose of mutability, a triple dose of adaptability. Assimilation would be keywords with these two signs together, especially. And then merging. Pisces is really good at merging. That's why it's the sign of a lot of psychics and mystics and mediums and creators. You know, think of like Steve Jobs. He was Pisces, and I'm sure you guys can think of many others. And dreamers, like people who dream up things or are very connected to dream time and get guidance that way. I worked with one client for a little bit, and just loved hearing how she was writing screenplays and getting downloads in dream time. I mean, that was amazing to listen to. And then we have Pisces as being our sign of sensitives. So we take this higher realm, you know, the realm of great spirit. And then also we have Neptune in Pisces. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at either. And these planets are all moving towards, well, the Sun and Mercury will catch up to Neptune much sooner, much, much sooner. But right now we have this opportunity to shine a light on the details. So we've got the big perspective, okay, like think of a huge bird up in the sky that can see, well, I guess the eagles probably see the best, or maybe ospreys, I'm not sure. But anyway, up in the sky, maybe like a hawkeye, okay, maybe we want to say it that way. And then you can focus in on the detail of what's down there on the ground that's important, right? How can this be useful? I see this big picture here. How can this be useful? Now, Mercury is moving quite a bit faster than the Sun. So as the moon moves, this way, the Mercury is moving this way almost as fast. So Mercury is the messenger. So it's bringing messages to help us make decisions, and especially good for timing. You know, with the full moon here, we can get some divine timing going on. Remember, we've got this grounded energy. And of course, the Sun right here is at the apex of the kite. So it's headed this way, but that rudder needs to be held solidly so that the whole thing just doesn't take off. So it's perfect to have it in Virgo. And like, just think of a kite, like, the dreams of kids, flying kites up in the sky, but then they're holding on to it and they're controlling it best they can. But maybe the Virgo discrimination knows which way to turn which end of it, and so it doesn't flip around, and how to catch the right wind or be very careful when it's too windy. There's a lot of skill, which is another Virgo word. We're talking skillfulness to manage this kite. Okay? So that's actually really important. And then with Venus up here at this, moving forward even more to the south node of the past in Libra, we're talking relationships. We're seeing new either issues or attractions in relationship. Okay, so that's on one level. But focusing back into the full moon here, and especially this stellium of Mercury, the Sun, and Saturn, what we're going to be needing to focus in on would be, with Saturn in Pisces, we're mastering our lives with empathy and compassion and oneness. at the best levels, on your spiritual path. And literally, Pisces rules the feet. So be careful, take care of, be careful not to trip on something, because there's so much other energy that's not grounded. We have all this Aries energy, but Aries and Aquarius that's not very grounded. I can't really say Pisces is terribly grounded either, right? Because again, we're back to that mutable energy that's just adapting and assimilating to the outer world all the time. And sometimes, especially if you're super sensitive, it gets to be overwhelming. And Virgo energy can be overwhelming too. So if you have a project or you have any creative endeavor that you've been working on, it's going to go much easier for you. Because if you focus in on your creative project, then everything should, work out better for you. But your creative project might just be cleaning out closets or reorganizing something. Whatever it is that you're doing, the way to use the energy is to unclutter, declutter, and think of the big picture, but also be very careful. Don't move too quickly. Don't trip over something and hurt your foot or hurt your feet or end up falling. Be very, very careful, okay? When you're working, be very careful. When you're moving around with this full moon, please be very careful. So with Saturn here, and as the full moon moves on, but we still have that 4-degree orb, which is pretty tight. So the deal is there that with Saturn, this energy could be big and expansive with the Sun and Mercury, and then focusing in on the details. And then with Saturn, you might have a little bit of a delay. Maybe. Not everyone, but maybe someone might have a delay. So if you can trust that the delay might be there, if you're experiencing any kind of a delay, it might be there in order to help you take better care of yourself along the way. It might be there to help you stop and smell the roses, stop and take in your accomplishments. Pat yourself on the back, encourage yourself along. And then again, most of all, we have this diligent energy over here with Virgo. And then with Pisces, we want to be careful about needing to be perfect. Remember what I've always said, when it comes to art, there's always that human imperfection that makes it so beautiful. So Piscean energy usually unites things. So what are we uniting? We're uniting messages, intuitive messages, and the vastness of the pure potentiality of Pisces with the Sun. And then Saturn in Pisces is like, okay, how do we bring this into form? How do we bring this into our current reality? How can we adapt to our current reality? Because Saturn would be reality, right? While you're holding on to your dream. And like I said, trusting Great Spirit and the universe to help you find better ways, maybe ways to take better care of yourself in your service or both, right? Your health. The full moon could illuminate where you need to be more flexible and let go of perfection, like I was saying, or to hone in on some new skills to be more efficient. So this full moon supports all forms of communication with the Sun and Mercury together. And even the couple days leading up to it, and even this week leading up to it, as soon as the moon is in Virgo, we're in that realm of the polarity because of Mercury and the Sun. Okay, so the full moon will be the epitome on Saturday early in the morning, maybe before you even wake up. And if you have any trouble sleeping with a full moon, I'm not so sure if this one. Well, as long as you have your lists where you've written down all your need to do's and you've put that aside before you go to sleep, you're probably going to be fine. Because Pisces is so dreamy, I'm not so sure that this is a very energizing full moon because of the grounded nature with this grand Earth trine going on and the dreaminess of Pisces. Pisces is just so wonderful for anything mystical, anything, like I was saying, that is creative, expansive, fluid, because it's water, big water. Think of the ocean, big water. It can be very healing. It can be kind of shy and soulful, because it's just so big and dreamy, and you can go as far as you want with it. And it can be very compassionate and tender. Again, psychic, intuitive. It's malleable energy, kind of like you think of like memory foam, where you touch it and you're pushing into it, and then you can see the impression, but it also comes back to you. And if you could think of the universe as being that way, that we can put things into the universe, and then what we put into the universe or put out into the universe, however you want to say that, it comes back to you, right? You push it in, something comes back. Something goes in, comes back. So you have that power, and that's Piscean power, to know that the universe is kind of like your oyster, right? If you don't like oysters, use a different thing, but just think in terms of that, being able to impress the universe with what you're working to create on Earth, and know, because this is a spiritual law, it's already there for you in the spirit world. It's just a matter of time and your effort and your belief in yourself. And that's a very Piscean quality too, is to believe in yourself. Be very gentle with yourself, believe in yourself, but hold on to what you're, working to create. As long as it's loving and it's kind and it's putting something positive out into the universe, then you're good. Now, on the flip side of it, I would stay away from any arguments about, your belief system versus someone else's. With this Piscean energy, someone might be wanting to escape from reality, and they might even be evasive with you and not tell you the truth anyway. Because Pisces can be not only elusive, but it's like, the moon card in the tarot, it can literally be illusion, like what's true and what's not. Well, Saturn in Pisces here is going to be the true test, and then you have the Virgo moon for the discernment. So you can transcend. That's another, Piscean quality, is that being able to transcend the anxiety by bringing in more breath into your body, by nurturing your body. And with the Piscean energy, you want to be careful about allowing yourself to be vulnerable to someone who isn't trustworthy. If you've been with someone or been speaking with someone in the past and they weren't kind, and maybe you're working to forgive them, and then you're having another conversation with them, and you're feeling this vulnerable place, when here you are coming with your unconditional love and your kindness, which would be very, those are Piscean qualities. But you're worried about, maybe there's a sting, maybe there's a scorpionic sting that's about to come. So you want to be careful, because this whole, the whole triad, the whole water triad of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces can be very intuitive and psychic, but sometimes those psychic connections aren't so good. You want to be very careful. And then, on the most important level, probably, is that, with Piscean energy, we can get guidance that can be elusive. So definitely, with Mercury here and Saturn, the real true, piece in this is that and with Virgo here, my goodness, we need to write it down. We need to capture either on, a recording device or on paper with, paper and pen, or art, if you want to, use the energy to draw or paint or whatever your medium, excuse me, is. The energy is so good for that. That is just, I don't know if it gets any better than having a full moon, opposing Pisces, and then to have Mercury, the messenger, right there with the sun shining the light, and then Saturn that's like, yeah, we can put this into form and we can master this. So, in fact, both the sun and the moon are helping us at both ends to balance things out. And like I was saying, maybe we're working on forgiveness, and maybe we're working on being less picky, but also maybe being more precise with the Virgo full moon. So, yeah, I think most of all, just to close this up, I think we can say that this is a very creative full moon, but workingly creative. It's not the creative where you're just sitting, meditating, downloading, getting ideas. You do that too, of course, and write things down or draw, paint, whatever. You can use it that way, but it's all about putting something into form here, okay, with that Virgo full moon. So I think that's it. I'll go ahead and get this uploaded. My members get it first without ads, of course. My members at the family level and above, the family and the lessons level first, and then it'll go out to everyone after. And with that, just sending you big hugs. Take good care. Bye.